Will Paul Scholes fare better than the other class of 92 members at coaching? Paul Scholes has become the fifth class of 92 member to try his hand at management after Oldham Athletic unveiled him as their new boss on Monday afternoon. The former Manchester United and England midfielder has been itching to get back into the game and did speak to Oldham about taking over last season. Sportsmail looks at how four of the others have fared in various coaching roles since retirement. Wales manager Giggs has been in situ a little over a year, and the statement 4-1 win over Ireland in September was the obvious highlight. The 45-year-old does have his critics though, and they questioned his team selection after a chastening defeat by Albania 2 months later. Giggs is adamant that blooding youngsters will provide Wales with a platform to compete in the future, admitting that his spell in charge has so far been a work in progress. He is enthused by Bournemouth's David Brooks and Ethan Ampadu of Chelsea, the latter having played only 5 more games for his club than country. Giggs did not hold back after the Albania debacle, however, labeling his players complacent. That, to his mind, skewed his opening 9 matches as manager. 5 of those ended in defeat, although the others came against Spain, Uruguay and Denmark twice. The real test starts next month with the European Championship qualifiers. Given 24 teams will reach the 2020 showpiece, Giggs ought to make sure Wales are one of them. This is a huge opportunity for the former winger, who had been in brief interim charge at Old Trafford and worked under both David Moyes and Louis van Gaal. Just before acting as No. 2 to Roy Hodgson for England's disastrous Euro 2016 campaign, Neville lasted only 4 months at the helm in Valencia. There had been ups and downs at England, with some reason for optimism despite 3 generally disappointing tournaments, but Valencia acted as a real wake-up call for the former United right-back. Then came Iceland and France, probably signaling the end of his coaching career. The top job at the Mestalla had looked a tough one beforehand, but Neville believed he could make it work under friend and Salford co-owner Peter Lim. Only 3 La Liga victories in 16 games suggested otherwise, Valencia slumping to within 6 points of the relegation zone and 20 behind the Champions League places. A 7-0 Copa del Rey defeat was described by sporting director, Cecil Garcia Pitarch, as one of the worst in our history. Neville, blighted by red cards, injuries and a lack of goals, wanted to continue in Spain but realized results, 10 wins from his 28 matches, simply were not good enough. Neville ended up working for 3 different Valencia managers during the season in which his older brother arrived and was then subsequently sacked. He was initially appointed as a coach under Nuno, who resigned in November, before assisting Gary and then staying on with Paco Ayestrin. Neville, whose son Harvey was in the Valencia academy at that point, left Spain at the end of the season. The 42-year-old had taken charge of one Salford City game alongside Scholes in 2015 before landing the England women's job in January of last year. Neville has won 5 of his 8 games with the national team and believes England have the chance to lift silverware in the next 2 tournaments, this summer's World Cup in France and Euro 2021 on home soil. We want to do well and we want to inspire, but the biggest way to inspire is to win World Cups, to win Olympic Games, to win European Championships, he said. If we do that and people say I remember turning on and seeing Lucy Bronze, Steph Houghton or Fran Kirby scoring the winning goal in a World Cup final, then that's the only way to inspire the next generation. United's academy have a number of exciting youngsters emerging right now, and that has to partly be down to Butt. He has held the head of academy role since 2016, following Brian Clare's departure, and has been reshaping its structure. Marcus Rashford, who made his senior debut a week after Butt's appointment, cannot define his time. Yet the development of others thereafter could well do. United were heavily criticized following last season's relegation for Ricky Sprague's under-23s, but are placing more importance in the under-18 team. Kieran McKenna topped the Northern Division with them last year, eventually losing the final against Chelsea, before he was then promoted to the first team alongside Jose Mourinho. Neil Ryan took his place with the under-18s and is battling with Everton, Liverpool and Derby to reach that final again. The likes of Mason Greenwood, James Garner and Ethan Laird are all drawing praise. Tahith Chong, the 19-year-old Dutchman, made his debut in the FA Cup against Reading last month and was among the travelling party to Fulham on Saturday. But's relationship with the first team is allowing some of the club's brightest teenagers to star in training.